Well, good morning. It is misty outside. It's much cooler. Um, Very nice, but I don't like being wet, so I decided to come in. Bella wasn't too happy because she wanted to go out, but we did about 20 laps around the house. And then I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm getting damp." So, anyway, what I want to talk about today is downsizing, decluttering, not just physical things, but other things that are in my life that I don't need. So I have been decluttering for a long time. When my husband and I started realizing that the house we had was way too big, we just couldn't utilize all the space, and it was just hard to keep clean and keep the yard up, and it was getting hard on him to do the yard, so we had to pay someone to do it. So we were already in the process of decluttering, when he passed away. So we got rid of a lot. We had 3,800 square feet plus a 2.5 car garage, and the downstairs had 10-foot ceilings. The garage had 10-foot ceilings, so we had a lot of storage area. We had custom shelves built and all that kind of stuff. So, we loved living in that house. It was beautiful. It wasn't fancy, but it was a beautiful home. I really loved living there. However, it was just too much for us. That house needed a family. And in order for someone to really enjoy that home, they needed a family. It was getting harder and harder for us to be there. So we started to look at a place about 40 miles from here, and it was a mobile home park, but it was for 55 plus, and it was really nice. It had two lakes, and we put a deposit on a lakefront property, and then 2020 happened. So when we put the deposit down, we started downsizing. We started going through things and purging. Excuse me. We got rid of about, I don't know, 30%, I think. So we were thinking, well, since it's going to be about half the size of our home right now, so we need to get rid of 50%. So we were all excited. We thought we were doing it. So anyway, we did get rid of a lot of stuff. And the more we got rid of, the more we realized it like grows. You pull out a bunch of stuff and you get rid of it, and then you realize there's still stuff. I mean, there's all this crap that you have saved for who knows how long. And it wasn't just my stuff, it was his. So the more we purged, the worse it got. And so pretty soon we did have about 50%. Still wasn't enough. And this Facebook friend of mine, I've never met her, but she told me she had moved. She had a little bit bigger house than we did, and a huge, huge yard. She had acreage. And they moved to out of state, and they moved to, I think she said it was like a 1,400 square foot home. And they did the same thing, and she said, let me tell you, you need to get rid of 90% because it just won't fit. And I was like, 90%? Are you kidding me? She says, no. Get rid of all your furniture too because it won't fit. Let me tell you, it will not fit. And I went, "Oh my gosh, are you seriously?" She said, "Take it from me. I'm still going through stuff. It doesn't fit. None of our furniture fit. None of our bookcases, dressers, nothing fit." And she had a craft room. And then she showed me her craft room. It was a walk-in closet. She said, "I had to get rid of almost everything. I don't have room for it." And her husband didn't have room either because he had his own stuff that he did. And she says, 90%, get rid of 90%. And then when you move, buy furniture that fits. Save the money and buy furniture that fits. And I was like, oh my God, no, that's not, no, I can't imagine that. You know what? She was 100% correct because it doesn't fit. If you have a big room, you're going to fill the room. You have a small room, what you put in it will not be big. Because if you put a big sectional sofa in a little room, you got no room, you can't go anywhere, you're just stuck. Yeah, so I sold almost all my furniture. I kept the guest bed because my king size sleigh bed and all the matching furniture would not fit in the master bedroom. Not in the house we were planning to buy, and not in this one. So yeah, I got rid of it. I lost money on it for sure. But it's okay. It's really okay. I'm glad because I didn't have to make it fit around. The only thing I kept was my entertainment center for my TV and because it has cabinets on the side that I can put my miniatures in. I kept my craft desks. I got rid of just about everything else that was like that. I kept my toolboxes. I have toolboxes that I use for craft supplies. They're all 3 drawer. They all match. We bought them clearanced in 2016, so they're quite old, but they're amazing, and I wouldn't dream of getting rid of them. I kept shelves that he had bought for his models for myself and got rid of numerous shelving units that would not fit in here, just wouldn't work. So I got rid of a lot of stuff like that. I got rid of living room furniture, rec room furniture, everything. Dining room table and chairs. Got rid of everything. I kept certain things, like my dining room set over here was a table that I bought at a garage sale for $25. And I bought it for a drying table for when I was doing artwork. I could put it on there and let it dry. But I kept that because it's round. The sides fold down, so it's very narrow. I had to buy new chairs for it because didn't have chairs. But I repainted it and did my own thing on it, and I absolutely love it. So I'm glad I kept it, but it was only 25 bucks. And I had it for several years before I painted it and moved it here. The chairs I did buy new because I couldn't find anything that would go with it that I liked. So when I moved in, I didn't have any living room furniture. So I bought 2 chairs from Wayfair that were on sale. They were clearanced. And I ended up paying less than the price of one chair for two chairs. So that worked out really well. Convenient? No, it's not convenient to just have two chairs for, you have company. So my daughter had given me a chair, loaned me a chair, and I still have it. I'd like to get it back to her, but I had that initially. And then a friend had a futon and brought it over, so I had a place for people to sit. And then when I got the two gray chairs, I gave him back the futon. So that worked out really well because then I picked what I wanted. It's kind of a mid-century modern style. I really like them. But again, it still wasn't the right fit for that room. And then my family was coming to visit for the first time since I had moved. I really needed some seating. So initially we had that, and I mean, we made do, but I knew that wasn't going to work. So I did buy myself, I would call it a trundle type sofa, but that's not what they call it. I don't even remember what they called it, but anyway, it's a small sofa because I only had a small area that it could fit in, and it's very small, but it has a pull-out twin size bed, and you can hook, pull it out, and then it makes a full size. So it's really nice, and it works, and I don't mind sitting on it. It's not bad at all. And when they come, they take the master bedroom, and I sleep on that because I get up so ungodly early. I don't want to, cause any issues with them. Let them sleep. So anyway, so purging is an ongoing thing for me. I have gotten rid of so many things, but I'm replacing things a little at a time. I don't need a lot. I got rid of all the craft desks that I used to have. They just didn't function here. And that's the thing. She was 100% right. You think you're going to make these things work for you, but they don't fit in the house that you're in. You have to take into consideration doorways, windows, where your heat registers are, things like that. Like this fireplace thing over here is a pain in the neck. It's not in a good spot. It's directly across from the thermostat, so it conflicts with how the furnace runs. I really don't like it there. I wish it was somewhere else. But there's nothing I can put there next to it. So I have these, I did bring these from the other place. They're just wicker baskets in wrought iron frames, and they're okay, but they don't really hold much. So I just have like light bulbs and uh, extension cords, just, the magic mover thing, stuff like that, where I know where they are, I can get to them right away. Is it a necessity? No, I could probably find another spot for them, but I want to fill that space. I can't put anything next to it, like a chair. I tried that initially when I moved in, and it's too hot. It's actually too hot sitting here. This is on the other side, and it's really too hot when that thing's running. So, yeah, so anyway, I had a desk, um, uh, and I'm using it now. So that my husband had put together for me, and I had that in the guest room. So I kept this desk. Is it the best desk? No, it's not, but it works for what I need it for right here. Will I replace it? Probably not. It matches the two shelves that he had for his collection, his Snoopy collection, and some of his finished models. Well, I have them because they fit in that space better than what I had. So what I had just did not work. I just couldn't make them work. And these actually fit and they match this desk. So, it worked out. But this room, the only furniture it has, and I'm calling furniture places to sit, are desk chairs and this one chair. And so I have multiple workstations where I have a chair or a stool where I can work. Do I need all that? Absolutely not, but I have it, so why not use it? If at some point in the future I say, forget it, I'll get rid of them. But these I did not replace. These I kept. They're still in working order. I have all kinds of things like that. So in the two bedrooms, I have deleted. I have purged a lot of things. I've gotten rid of so much in there. A lot of art supplies, a lot of books in the other room. I still have a lot. I have a lot to decide on to get rid of. There's a lot of things I don't need. I haven't looked at since I moved here. They're just in a box or a tote. I don't need them. So it's a little at a time. Just like I had garage sales, so I got rid of a lot of stuff. Well, now I have made up my mind. I am not having any more garage sales. I do not want to store anything for the next garage sale. And that way I don't have to look at it. I'm a visual person. Every time I look at the clutter and the excess, it overwhelms me and I get really upset and just, not in a good mood. Excuse me. So I feel that it's really important for my mental health to go ahead and let this stuff go. If I haven't used it in 3 years, I'm not going to. So I always try to give things away, and I do. I've done a lot here where I don't have room to store it. Once I've decided it has to go, I just put it at the curb. I let the community know it's there. They come, within a day it's gone. So very little of the things that I get rid of goes to the landfill, which makes me happy. And I don't have to do Goodwill. Not a fan of Goodwill. I don't like their policies, their principles. If there was something else, that'd be okay. But our thrift stores are full and they just don't want to take any more, that help the homeless or, the people that are in need. They have so much now, they just really can't take in any more. They'll refuse clothes, the only thing they won't refuse are coats. And they're take very minimal decor, kitchen stuff, whatever, minimal. So I've gotten rid of a lot, but there's more to go. When I had the garage sale, I had these totes. I put like objects with like, close it up, it'll go to the street. I have 4 totes that are full of things. One's Christmas, one is clothes, odds and ends of clothes. It's not anything that, like a couple of t-shirts and I don't even know. The people in this community, my husband had 200 t-shirts. I gave away most of them. I kept a tote full, which had I gave away 200. I had about 50, 55 or something of his t-shirts that I was going to give away again. I ended up giving them away in the community. I just put it out there and they came and got what they wanted. That makes me happy because there's a lot of people in this community that can't really afford to buy anything. And so if I can donate to my community, I will do that first. So I've been doing that for a long time. Even at my other house, I did it there too. One time I had a huge amount of stuff that we were purging. I put it out on the garage, or out on the driveway in front of the garage, and it was all free. And within that day, it was all gone. There was nothing left. So there are people out there that will take it. I don't care what they do with it once it's in their hands. Once I have separated myself from it, the moment it hits the curb, it is no longer my property. I consider it gone. And that's the only way I can really get rid of things. I have to disconnect from it. I have to say, okay, this no longer belongs to me. Because otherwise, I'll go back in there and pick through it myself and take something in. I have to do it that way. So I give it away. And the people are very happy and appreciative. There's never a mess. They keep it neat and tidy. And they put everything back, like if it's empty boxes, they stack them up and whatever. But I have learned, please take the totes or please take the boxes with you, because I don't want them back either. I have tons. I have given away, oh my gosh, like 20 or so, maybe more totes. And I still have at least 20 or 30 of them. Because when I moved, I put everything in totes so that they didn't get dirty or the box didn't draw moisture and whatever. So, I mean, I had a lot of totes. Well, now I got to get rid of these things. They take up too much room because they're empty. And even though I still want to move, I still want to find a place that I can, have my own property and everything. It may never happen. So am I really going to store 20 or 30 totes and take up all that space for nothing? Do I really want to do that? I'm thinking not. Those I can probably sell. Get a little bit of cash from them, but it's not a big deal. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing. So my friend who told me 90%, she was 100% right. Because I believe I have, with the final push this year, I believe I have gotten rid of 90%. That doesn't mean I haven't brought a few things in, like the 4 chairs, the 2 chairs, and the sofa. Those things I did bring in. That's it. That is truly amazing that I got rid of 90% of what we had at that house. And I still have a full house. And the house is half the size. Half the size. But 98% or 90% of it had to go because it wouldn't fit. None of it fit. None of it worked. I was so frustrated because every time I would move something, and it was really hard, it was a physical struggle for me. But every time I moved it around or tried to, make something fit, it didn't. I couldn't make any of it fit. I am so glad I didn't save any of the big furniture we had. Uh, leather sofa and love seat in the living room that was just beautiful. And it was old, but it was beautiful and it was like brand new. We took care of it, and both sides lifted. And, I mean, it was really nice. And the bedroom furniture was really nice. We enjoyed it. But at the end of his life, it was no longer enjoyable. So I got rid of all of that. All of the big furniture was gone. And I was able to do something in this house that's just for me. It's for, when I look at it, the only memory I have, like with these 2 chairs, is putting it together myself without help. Yeah. Or shopping for the sofa that I have because I needed something that was small that would fit but actually serve what I needed, like having an extra bed. And so yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. And in the garage, I've gotten rid of a lot more too because it was pretty packed in there. Plus, I had a storage unit. And little by little, I emptied it. And eventually, I emptied it because it was $86 when I rented it. And a year later, 161. Uh-uh. I'm not paying to store shit that I'm not using. Sorry. And so that's what started this whole thing, this year. It has to go. I am not keeping it. If I'm not using it, I'm not keeping it. It's got to go. And I think that's kind of liberating. I feel better about myself because it was like, why can't I let this go? Well, mainly because I'm just too tired to deal with it, or I'm too physically tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired. But it lifts my spirit. It makes me feel better to have space. Um, so physically, I'm better. I have put a lot of effort into getting better. I'm still old, but I've been working my butt off trying to get stronger and trying to do things for myself. And this is part of it. So, as far as purging and downsizing, and do it in all areas of your life, not just physical things. Just like that website. Um, it just wasn't necessary, and I was paying money for it. It wasn't like super expensive, but it was enough that I really didn't need it. I mean, what it cost me per year for the domain name and for actually the host, um, yeah, that would pay for um, a couple of grass-fed meat deliveries for me. I have to put it in that type of perspective. I have to say, okay, well, yeah, this is just sitting here. It's not bothering anybody, but it's taking up space, valuable space, that could either be used for something else or just to make it feel better, make it feel more open. So it's part of changing your attitude and your perspective on life. And, I could sit here and cry about not having space. And, you know, I don't have room. I don't have room to have excess. I have plenty of room if I get rid of the excess. So it's just a matter of that mindset. I don't want to complain that I don't have room because I do. I just have too much stuff. And I have too much stuff to deal with in my head. So if I can get rid of those things that cause stress, or that I can justify uh, having it or not justify having it, just like that website, I can't justify it because I did it for my family. I did it so that they could go there and go, oh, my Grammy did this. They're not going to go there. They don't care. They can see it on YouTube or they can see it on Facebook. But what do I need it for? It's just another expense, and it's another thing in my head that I have to keep track of. And I don't want that. I'm done with it. I'm really done with it. So I think this is like a positive thing. I really want to clear it out so that when something happens to me, it's easier for my daughter or whoever, my grandson or whatever. It's easier for them to take care of it. And because they're not going to want it. What are they going to want? They might want some of my artwork, of course. But the rest of it, they're not going to take it. What are they going to do with it? They have no reason. They have their own things. And so I have to have a different attitude. And my attitude is, if I haven't used it in 3 years, it's got to go. Because it's just taken up real estate that I would cherish, that I would love to just have. So I can either put something else there that I've made or, whatever, something that I actually will use and enjoy. And that's really all it is. So Just think about that if you're downsizing. You know, you can't keep it all. You can't even keep half. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.